So the first function in Asta Sitecontrol that's necessary is to populate a library. So on the shortcuts on the left-hand side, we click on Library, which opens us a new window, and we have a library of companies, people, projects, and groups of companies. So in the company list, we just list all of the companies that we might be working with or working for. So I've selected a company here. We can obviously fill in all the address and phone number, email, but also we can categorize these companies and say that this particular company is one of these user definable entries, or so this company is going to be a concrete subcontractor as well as an electrical subcontractor. So we can categorize this company, and there's a couple of categories. We can also say that they're of a certain status or whatever use we want to make of these lists. And then we can categorize and find information. So we could then say, well, show me all concrete subcontractors, and that lists all of the ones that we have. Including the change that we've just made. And then we might say, well, I only want to see those which have got a certain status. So we could then say, show me our highest ranking one. So we can filter out from the massive information the bit that we need at any particular time. And as well as structured filtering in that way, we can also just look for a piece of text and see the group that matches that. So this information is like a CRM system, a customer relationship management, or like your telephone directory. It's just one place to go for that information. But also you've got the people who work for these companies, and we can enter that information here, or we can enter it in a list of people. So I'm going to look for my worker called Kevin, and we've found him there. We can double click on him, and we've got all the information that we need about him. We've got his phone number, his email address, what trade he has. So perhaps he's a foreman as well as a plumber, and we can see which company he works for. Lots of other information like his social security number, how much he's paid on an hourly rate, etc. So this information can be stored in the library, and we've also then got a library of projects. So here are all the projects that we might be tendering on or actually working on, and if I choose one of my projects, I've got all the information that you would expect about contact details, and again a number of categorizations. Is it ongoing or finished? Is it in production, or is it just at a tender stage or in defects liability? We might categorize it of the type of structure, so is it housing or offices, and various payment methods. We've got user access rights, so we can allow different people to view this and restrict what they can do with this individual project. So we've got all of that information at the top, but then lower down the screen here, we can then see all of the different organizations and people who are going to fulfill those roles in our company. So if we wanted to find our flooring subcontractor, we could look from a list below, or just choose one of the entries and say that this particular company will be carrying out that work. So we can structure the library to record everything in one place, and we can also put groups of companies together where we can then say, well, who are all the electrical companies that we usually use, and I've got that as a list that I can then send inquiries by email or by letter. So the library itself is essential to populate before starting work on the rest of Asta Sitecontrol.